Hey Aries, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your second half of August general reading here. So in your meditation, very interesting. The first thing that I noticed within it was the lack of stimuli. I was taken to a very dark room. I saw a water source, like a pool of water in an empty dark room, and then there was music playing. It felt like a Bon Iver synthesized sound, and that was the only way that I kind of could see the water rippling at all, like there was any movement at all. And then I was taken into an empty white room and came upon Harold from Harold and the Purple Crown. Now, Harold and the Purple Crown is a children's book about a little boy who creates his own utopian fantasy world with his trusty Purple Crown. It's really about, teaching the energy of the magician, in my opinion, about co-creating with the universe, right? It's that book. But I saw Harold, and yet he did not know what to do with that purple crayon. He did not know what to do. He was standing there kind of holding it, kind of looking at the white room. He wasn't upset. He wasn't, angsty. He just was standing there with the purple crown. It's really interesting because then it was revealed that the wall that he was about to draw on, or meant to draw on rather, because he wasn't about to do anything, he was just standing there, was actually a piece of white paper. And I kind of got a glimpse behind it. And it was this beautiful landscape, this beautiful world that was even better than Harold could have created from his own mind. So it felt like outside of the realm of his own potential thinking or self-perceived limitations or what have you, was something more miraculous. And there was an aspect of Harold that knew this. And that was why he didn't dare draw anything on that paper. You know how, have you ever heard, like, when you're manifesting or asking for something or setting an intention, you ask for this or something better, so that you're leaving it open to the universe to go, okay, I would like this or something better because I can only think within the confines of my own abilities and capabilities, right? So it's going, let's leave it just a bit open. And that's what I feel like is the point of this for you, Aries, is leaving it open. There's something, and I feel like you are going to intrinsically feel this, where there's a transition coming for you, and it exists, it's well within that category of or something better. Let's go ahead and see what your cards say. Hey Aries, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the second half of August. Oh, wow. One of my personal favorites. So you got the moth here. This is really, really perfect. It's really, really perfect. First of all, do you recall that in your meditation just now, I was first taken into a very dark room, and then I was taken to a very white room? Interesting, the light, the dark there. Now, moth energy, it's really stunning because it's all about transformation, cycles, timing, and patience, right? Moth medicine is very much about, it is about death and rebirth, but it's also about not rushing to any one part and understanding that sometimes not knowing what comes next is just as important as what is coming next being revealed, right? So it's another way of saying, it's the journey over the destination, if we want to be a bit cliche about it, or the process over the product. And it's interesting because remember, we saw in the meditation Harold just standing there not daring to use that purple crown because something in his knowing was telling him, it's the or something better. So if it's or something better, I'm gonna just wait and see what that something better is. I'm just gonna keep it open, right? And it's really interesting in this context of the moth. If you think about the life cycle of the moth, right? This is really fascinating. They go from the egg to the caterpillar to the cocoon to the fully formed flight body, right? But did you know in this state, they don't actually have mouths. They don't eat at all because they only live for a couple of weeks in their moth formation, right? Their sole purpose in this formation is to mate. And then they die. That sounds a bit dark, but it's a beautiful thing, and I think it's a beautiful lesson around. They spend the majority of their lives as caterpillars, and then in that cocoon. So they spend most of their lives in that energy of patience and preparedness, and then the hard work of transformation within that cocoon, where they do turn to goo and then transform their bodies and grow wings. So it's really fascinating that's coming through like this. Also, moth medicine speaks of, moon. They're ruled by the moon. That's their navigation system. And the moon represents the unknown, intuition. So it's perfect with this Herald, right? With the or something better. I really feel like we're going to be looking at the or something better aspect of your experience and then kind of the roadmap around this time before that really manifests or makes itself clear. I love moth energy. I really, really do. So I connect very deeply with it. So I love that that came up for you. This also equates to moth energy. It is a bit of a death energy, but it's also a bit of a page of wands energy because it also speaks of, if you think about it, remember how we said it only lives for a couple of weeks in that flight formation? Page of Wands is that young, exciting, fiery, youthful energy, which is about courage and bravery and new projects. So it's interesting, too, that we were seeing Harold with the purple crown, an aspect of that Page of Wands. So let's go ahead and see what is going on. Oh, that took no time at all. Wow. So we got 3 of Cups here, Aries. So nice. So, I mean, this is just brilliant. First of all, it's coming to me that there's this aspect of, traditionally 3 of Cups is about celebration, kinship, people coming together. But do you remember when we were talking about the different stages of the moth's life cycle? From the egg to the caterpillar to the cocoon before it takes full flight. So there's something about the 3 here, right? It also reminds me of the 3 faces of goddess, like that there's more than one aspect to things. So this is interesting as well. But also the waterfall in the meditation, I saw that water coming in. It's fascinating. And then the music as well. I feel like this is an aspect of you that feels like there are certain things that are either coming into your understanding where it's like, oh, okay, I have this figured out now, or oh, that's finally settled, or oh, there's some clarity around this. It's like you're coming to a natural pause point, is what I'm getting with this, right? But it feels really positive. It feels like there's been some really happy developments going on for you, either in your relationship realm, your work realm. But there's something here that just feels like there's a kinship in your energy, where it allows you to just kind of feel like, okay, like I am where I'm meant to be at this point, right? And it feels like I'm hearing like the foundation. The foundation is sturdy. The foundation is sturdy. It feels really nice. It feels really, 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 really nice. And if you notice the bright colors here as well, it feels very vibrant, colorful. I want to say extroverted. Right. So we got the 8 of Cups in reverse here. So I'm going to flip it up for the visual, but more cups. So what is that all about? It's about your emotion, your intuition. We were picking up on that in your meditation in such a big way. So the 8 of Cups, traditionally speaking, is about moving towards emotionally fulfilling ventures or state of being, but it's also moving away from confusion. It's moving away from the mystery. It's moving away from your dreams being deferred and really going, okay, the only constant in this life is change, and endings make way for new beginnings. Back to this moth energy. I do feel like there's a certain chapter of your life or a certain aspect of your reality that has come to a natural conclusion. Okay, this could be your way of thinking. This could be you healing around something that has happened, or that has been on your mind or your energy, and it's like because again with the 3 of Cups, it's like I've healed this. I feel like I'm able to move past it now. I'm able to move past it now, right? And if you think about what comes after the 8 of Cups is the 9 of Cups, right, which is the wish fulfillment key and really enjoying life and satisfaction. This feels like a transition point, but it also feels like I'm not in a rush. Sometimes it's a relief to just close out one cycle or one state of mind before the next presents itself. And that's where I feel like you are. It's that or something better. And I feel like she's looking out and going, that or something better is out there, but I'm also enjoying the view from where I am, right? And then also this dolphin medicine here as well. Dolphins represent like an Ace of Cups meets the 6 of Cups energy. Ace of Cups is fertility, it's high intuition, it's high emotion, it's great love and joy. So I do feel like your relationships around you are feeling really, really nice. And perhaps that's what's, adding to this sturdy foundation feeling that I'm getting of like, you know what, I'm well supported, so I can stand strong from where I am, right? So it's interesting being in this place where you know, again, with the dolphin and the Six of Cups, with that being in the moment and that childlike energy as well, right? Along with that fertility aspect, there is this sense of like, I'm okay being where I am, right? I don't necessarily need to rush off. I don't need to know what's next right now. I'm okay just trusting that everything is going to be as it's meant to within my highest and best good, right? It feels like you have a strong foundation and your state of mind feels wonderfully balanced. It's really, really nice. Really, really nice. Right. So you're the King of Swords here. I also want to point out before we talk about him, I'm noticing that there are no major arcanas here. Yeah, no major arcana. So they're all minor. So when you see the minor arcanas coming out this way, it means that you have choices, that nothing's necessarily set in stone. There's no aspect of your destiny that's tied to this. There's not necessarily any major soul lessons being learned. You have full autonomy over what's going on, and there's not necessarily a right or wrong choice. There's just choices that feel good and choices that don't. Choices made from love and choices made from fear. It's kind of like that Lover's energy, but in a minor arcana context. And that's kind of why it feels light to me as well. You know what I mean? When you have a lot of major arcanas going on, it's going to be a significant time for you. It can also feel a bit heavy in some aspects of it, right? Or a bit intense. And then you have the King of Swords coming up here, right? Which is a lovely air energy. King of Swords is so wonderful because he's not only wonderful at observing his surroundings, but he's wonderful at observing his inner workings as well. But why do I feel like this is you? I don't want to say waiting, right? It feels like you are sitting comfortably before the next thing appears, but there's something about him raising this sword in this aspect of truth. It feels like you're very connected to the now of where you are, and you understand inherently that it doesn't always benefit you to know exactly how things are going to turn out or to have a plan that is too tightly coiled. It feels like I want to be loose. It's like loose clothing. It's like a room for improv in the jazz, the jazz performance. It feels like that. Feels like that. It feels like there's a lot of choices and autonomy. And it feels really nice. Now, the King of Swords, again, traditionally speaking, he is always fair. He always does the right thing because he doesn't come from a place of emotionality, which is fascinating because you're coming off of two emotionally charged keys here and then sitting right into the King of Swords and saying, okay, well, that's brilliant. But I can also come from a place of reason and justice and keen observation, right? King of Swords sees things incredibly clearly. He doesn't make a wrong move and he doesn't make the wrong choice, ever. Because he's always coming from a place of high objectivity. Just like his falcon there. His perception is very, very keen. Now, the King of Swords, like all the kings, right? They're all aspects of the Emperor. So this is the Emperor with his King of Swords outfit on, right? So there's an aspect to this as well that says like, okay, I have my armor on, like I'm ready and prepared, right? But I want to take some time to observe where I've been. I want to observe where I am. And then I want to really use my mental prowess to think about, what experiences could I have moving forward that would benefit me and inspire me to greater heights, greater movement, greater potential. Because remember, we have this moth energy here with this Page of Wands energy, and there is an aspect of you that has this impetus to dream of newness, to think, what could I try next? What might be next down the road for me? Not necessarily rushing off towards it or feeling the need to have it concretely defined, but imagining it from a place of objectivity and discernment. So the fact that you're dreaming with your head on straight and the fact that you are considering things from a keen vantage point feels just like what's coming up for you and the choices that you're going to make feels like it's going to be on the money. And it's beautiful. Now, I want to say as well, there's another aspect to this. Moths, when they're in this final formation, they emit certain hormones that attract, potential mates to them from miles and miles away. So it's another way of saying that what is theirs comes to them. Now, why am I so drawn to that, given that we have that King of Swords right here, and everybody goes to the king? He doesn't go to anybody. They go to him, right? So again, Harold was standing there just receptive, not really going anywhere, right? So there's something about that. You're in a place of the in-between where that or something better is in your experience and you're considering it and knowing that this is an important aspect of the process of getting to where you're going. And it just feels, I gotta say it feels very mature. it's the way that it's coming out. It's like, this is feeling very mature. Like it really, really does, right? And you as Aries, as the emperors that you are, you can step into this King of Swords outfit and wear it very, very well. This is a home base for you. This is a comfortable place of like, yeah, I'm good. I feel like I can do this, right? I can step into this role and really adopt this energy very well. Because that sword also represents an aspect of the emperors, aka the King of Swords in this context, decision-making skills. And those are on point right now. I feel like it's really wonderful. You know, I'm hearing something funny. Do you ever see those like professional like athletes that change sports later in their lives and they go from like I can't think of any in particular, they're like not coming to my mind, but like a professional athlete who was like a professional basketball player for like most of their career, and then they decide like just for kicks to like take up professional golf, and then they're like good at that too, but they don't, there's no pressure, they've already proven themselves, they have enough money for, you know, them and their children and grandchildren for generations to come, and they're doing it from a place of like, I love golf, I always wanted to give it a go, let's see what happens, why not? My basketball career has come to a natural conclusion, and now I'm ready for something a little less hard on the body, right? It's that kind of vibe from this, and it feels really, 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 really good. It's really good. Let's get some advice. You know, the fact I was going to say as well with this Eight of Cups, wanted to put it up there for the visual, but the fact that this is in reverse as well really speaks to the fact that it's a state of being, but it's not necessarily like feeling the need to move forward around this. It's just a stationary aspect of like being in a place where you're ready to, you know, embrace new things, and then coming from a place where things have reached natural conclusions, and it feels really positive in this context. Traditionally speaking, Eight of Cups can denote a sense of like regret or a feeling of, you know, ugh, God, I don't know how to move on from this. I don't know how to complete this, but that's not what I get from this. I really feel like it's good feeling around it. And this could be due to the fact that you have a very good support system around you, and they could be making the difference in this emotional state, feeling so balanced. So this could not be better and more perfect. Your advice is the Four of Earth or the Four of Pentacles, which is about what? Staying tight and right exactly where you are, not moving ahead, not moving backwards. This is exactly what we were talking about. So this is Spirit coming in to really affirm that for you and going, yeah, sometimes it really is best to just be exactly where you are from a state of, you know, preparedness and readiness. But that's what the King of Swords is doing. He's sitting down, but he has his armor on, right? You know, there's an aspect of the Four of Pentacles as well that talks about assured wealth and monetary gain. You really do have this sense and feeling that wherever you go, it's going to be good and well, but there's not necessarily a need to like rush to get there. There's not a lack mentality. It feels very mature. It feels calculated. Four of Pentacles coming in here to say, enjoy being where you are, because you're in the best spot. I don't necessarily want to say like, you know, yes, you're where you're meant to be, but it doesn't feel like that serious. It just feels like you're in a good spot. I want to say it's like a natural time to pause, right? It's a good time for pause. It feels incredibly, well, positive in that way. Incredibly positive. Let's go ahead and get an oracle for you. Oracle for Aries. Man, it's not every day that it's like, oh, my advice is Four of Pentacles. My advice is just to like enjoy where I am and know that when it's time to get going again, like I'll be ready, right? Right. So your oracle is the Well Watcher, wisdom, power of the divine. This is exactly what we're talking about. With that wisdom, with that maturity, with that keen sense of perception, we have two birds here, which speak of the power of observation and, you know, sight, high visibility. Wisdom, power of the divine. The Well Watcher is about what? It's about waiting. And patient, watching. Remember the water we saw in your meditation? Watching which way the wind goes, really taking some time to be where you are. And that wisdom is really, I told you, it feels that way. It feels incredibly wise. It feels like you're making good choices and decisions. There's a part of you that just knows what to do inherently. A power of the divine. It's really going, that is the or something better that I've been picking up on. You are really doing this right. That's what I want to say. You have got this, Aries, exactly where you are. And you're building power from where you are. You're thinking thoughts, you're seeing things, you're calculating potentials, but all from a place of or something better. Patient and just knowing that it's just as important to set your roots down where you are before the next thing begins. Or something better. It's absolutely beautiful, Aries. I love it for you. With that being said, I'm sending you so many blessings for your second half of August. I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please do let me know in the comments below. I love reading your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. I would so appreciate that. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so, so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, just thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.